Welcome YouTube and Wolfpack. Here's, as I promised, section 2 for Magizoologist. The information following will contain the tree information and specialties for that profession. Here's the video. Now, my profession, the Magizoologist. There's a lot of stamina you can increase, so you will definitely have a lot more stamina than anyone else. And the critical nodes for this one, I'm just going to call it the healer nodes. You have the restore stamina to a teammate. Then the next critical node is revive knocked out team members and restore stamina. So if they can't attack anymore and they get complete, or they get hurt hard and they get knocked out, you can go in there, revive them, be good to go. When you get knocked out, you have to wait for a timer before you can get your stamina full again. But this eliminates having to wait for that timer. So if you have a very critical battle where timing is key, throw that on there, revive them, and get back into the fight. And then the next critical node, or Nexus node, and this is going to come in the key at the end game when you have really tough fights, is you're increasing your power versus elites. And that actually does have an advancement towards the end. And then the four end game, or the four end nodes, defense versus spider. So your spider tank, defense when you have +5 focus. So it's just basically tank. So you're building up focus by fighting. And when you have more than 5 focus, if you have more than 5 focus, your defense increases significantly. The next end node when you speak is enhance teammates power versus elites. So not only do you increase your own power versus elites, you'll have an ability to be able to enhance everybody's ability or everybody's power for elites. So if you're going in a fortress or you're doing a special event or anything like that, and you see an elite, and you have this, you now can actually increase everyone's power against this elite, which means you can bring it down a lot faster. And then the fourth end node is power versus Erklins, another specialty. So you have 2 specialties. Now, every profession has 2 specialties, I noticed. So what you fight against, you're going to have to keep track of records. So if you're fighting all these fights and you see an Erklin, get your Magizoologist out there, let them handle it. This one is a power versus Erklin. So they're going to be the damage dealers or the damage specialists for Erklins. So the 4 end nodes: spider tank, regular, I'll call it focus tank, but just regular defense tank, elite buff, and Erklin damage dealer. And your midway nodes is your restoring stamina, revive, and the power versus elites. Now, as again, they have plenty of side branches where you have stamina increases, defense, critical power, precision, deficiency defense, etc. And there are various levels there, but what's really key about this is as you progress in levels, you don't want to ignore them completely, because you want to have all your regular stats kind of all increase slowly, so you'll be able to handle certain situations, especially deficiency defense, because as you increase your level, you're going to come across foes that are going to be throwing nasty stuff at you, so you want to be able to cover all your bases. But I'm just giving you the different end nodes or end branches that you may want to consider for your proficiency. So if you want to be the most efficient player and you want just to level up your proficiency specifically, or you just want one particular thing, you know exactly what to go for and what to do. Now, yes, you can go in and read all these and check all these yourself, but I did a lot of the legwork for you, so you don't have to. So you can just go back, and I'll put a little chart, maybe I'll draw a little something or something like that. So to recap for Magizoologists, we have the Nexus nodes, which is the initial power, the stamina healer, the reviver, and the elite damage dealer. Again, just to sum up, initial power boost, stamina healer to heal other players' stamina, revive to revive them from falling unconscious in the fight, and elite damage dealer, which is for the Magizoologist itself, allowing themselves to deal extra damage against elites. Then we have the 4 end nodes, which is the spider tank, what I call a tank, the elite buffer, and the Erklin buster. Again, to sum up, spider tank to be able to be defensive against the spiders. The tank, which is the tank that if you have more than 5 focus, which you can either get through potions or through fighting. The elite buffer, which basically buffing your team members to fight elites, giving them a significant damage boost against elites specifically. And the Erklin Buster, as I call them. Basically, you are able to do the most damage against Erklins. So again, like the other trees and the other professions, these are tailored, especially the 2 specialists, they are tailored specifically towards the type of creature that you come across in the fortress. So it pays to pay attention to what you're actually fighting against and actually knowing the type of creatures that you're fighting against, knowing what an Erklin actually looks like, or obviously know what a spider looks like, but you gotta keep an eye on it. So if you have a fortress of all of Death Eaters, then you know you get an aura. If you have a fortress all of spider tanks, get your Magizoologist out there. If you have a mixed crew of different creatures and different oddities, etc., that you're fighting against, then you have to tailor your fights based on who and what. Remember, when you're doing a fortress together with other people, you can pick who you want. So let's say you have to fight against 5 foes. Let's say there are 3 spiders, 1 Death Eater, and 1 that's just some other random one. Now, when you go in there and you play the game, you, as a Magizoologist, can go in there and say, okay, spider, I'm going for that. Then you could tell the buddy next to you who's an aura, like, hey, there's a Death Eater over here. You may want to take care of this. And you're like, okay, I'll go in there. Now, let's say there's another Magizoologist who may not necessarily be a spider tank, but has enough significant amount of power that they can contribute, but maybe they can join the aura team because they may need a backup. Or let's say you have a professor that can step in and be the Magizoologist's backup for the spider. So you can actually work in tandem in teams to actually take these things down. You don't necessarily have to throw all Magizoologists against spiders, but you probably wanted to take it down, especially if you have that tree. Now, for me personally, as I mentioned, I'm going to the route of the elite buffer and the elite damage dealer. And as the game progresses, I'm probably going to stay Magizoologist, but you never know. I mean, I may switch over to Aura Professor depending on how it looks. Like if there's a lot of, Death Eaters around or something like that. Because I initially was debate 50-50 between Aura and Magizoologist, basically on the skills and the types and the. It's hard to pick, but I like animals, so I decided to go that route. Elite first, then most likely a tank. And if I stay with Magizoologist, probably Spider Tank and then Erklin in that order. If I do switch over, it'll definitely be a Death Eater on the Aura side if I go over that way. But that's for a later conversation. Anyways, here's the profession chart that I created for you. I made it real easy, real simple to look at. And unlike all these other YouTube videos, we have all these people show all the in-game stuff, which doesn't really help you. This kind of distills it down to an easier way of understanding it versus just anyone could grab a screenshot and say, yeah, here's the profession tree, pick one. At least with this visual, you get a very rudimentary, kind of a very easy to place idea like, oh, I'm going to be a tank. I'm going to be this. It's a lot easier for you to understand. Anyways, thank you for joining me. And if you're new, please subscribe, like, leave a comment. Tell me if you like this content, if you find this informative. And, of course, subscribe and all that fun stuff. Have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Then click on the next video for the profession if you are into that field. And just click here. Take care. Peace out.